code. So we have bind our country and city data with our uh, drop down. Now we are going to get the things on it. Okay, so also we have, I think we have applied a filter on it. Have this work done, right? So according to the country, suppose I am going to select the India, then the India related cities will be shown in the country drop down. If I am going to select any Pakistan, then you can see the only the Pakistan related country will be cities will be shown here. So I think this part has covered, right? Right, Ganesh?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so now we are going to get the value of now we are going to the here. Now we need to create a button as a save. So whenever the I am say going to save, then item should be uh, preserved somewhere in our React application, and after that we will send that object to a service. So here we are going to create a button. Input type equals to button, and here the value is submit and is closed. Now I am going to create an on click event, and that on click event is uh, save data. That is my event name. I'm using this event name on the top. Const save data. Now here I want to first get all of the data here from my uh, every of the fields, like this is a F name, L name. There are a lot of the things are available here. Now how you can do that? In the traditional JavaScript there is a get item by ID, get item by name. So there are the things available, but in React JS we cannot do that. We should not do that. We can do that, but we should not do that. Okay, so in React how we can do that? So the thing is that we cannot get the directly the value of this input box in the save button on the React application. So for this there is a some little trick, or the, or you can say the way to preserve that the values. So that is I need to create a object. The first is object, that is a that object is a state object. Okay, so I am going to create a state object, not a variable, state object. That object, okay, I will show the two three ways. Okay, I will go to create a state variable first. So here my state variable is a first name, and that is the set first name, and use state. As know that the use state is a hook, and state is the preserve the values in your React application on a whole of the component. So in inside of the component, whenever you wants to use that value anywhere, then you can use from by using the state. And second thing, it is preserve the updated values inside, and whenever the state is going to update, then component will render. Okay, so I am going to create a first name state variable for my to preserve the first name value in my state, that the initial value of this uh, the first name variable is blank. Now I need to save this value in my state. So the way is that I need to create a on change event. Okay, and I'm passing here a function. I'm going to create a new function to preserve the value of my first name. Okay, f name save. Suppose this is my function, and I'm going to create here const, and here I will use the event. This, the event is as a parameter which is by default sent by a function whenever you are using on the any of the event. So I'm using the event, so that this is a variable name, whatever you wants to write that it responds to you. So suppose I'm using the alert to show you what is that. E dot target dot value. So what is this code will do? Whenever you are doing any typing or any changes in this input box, then this method will be execute, and this method will contain the event, and that event will provide you a lot of the properties in which the value is the one of that. So now you can see in the, suppose I am writing something, you can see that the pop-up is going on, and whatever I have written in the text box, it is showing here. Now I'm going to type another character, then it is again execute and show the whole of the value which is available in the text box. So like that we can get the all of the values, every values, whenever the any changes going on this function, or sorry, in this control, then you can get every value inside of this function. Now we are able to get the values from there, but we need to save in our state to use them in our control. So how you can do that, that is the set f name, and here we can pass the e dot target dot value, and I'm going to show that value of name here to check that it is saved or not. So here I'm going to type the, you can see where each of the characters, whenever I'm typing here, it is saving inside of the state variable, and state variable show here the exact name here. So it means the values are going to save in this state variable. So now the thing is, I am using this way to use. I can use directly here also without creating a function. So how you can do that? You need to create that. Go here, and here you need to use the set f name, and you need to pass the value of target dot value. Second. Okay, so like that you can pass that. So instead of writing this function, you can directly write a function, small function inside of it. So it will the same behavior as the previous. Okay. Now same thing I need to do with the. So now this function is not used anymore. So I'm going to delete that because I'm using directly added here. So it is up to you how you can work. You can use directly here, or you can use the by the function. Now I'm going to copy this one and paste in the last name, and I need to create a state for the last name. So I'm going to create another state variable, that is the last name. And the value of the last name will be saved inside of this state variable. Now if you are trying to get the value of these input boxes values in the save button event, then let's see it is available or not. Alert first name equals to plus f name plus last name equals to plus l name. Okay, now I'm going to save. I want to go. So first I need to remove this one. I'm going to remove and refresh. Enter the name, and last name is Kumar, and I'm going to click on the submit button. You can see the first name is Subodh and last name is Kumar. So these values are coming from the state. So the way is that we are going to create a change event, and then by this change event we are going to preserve the state variable for particular the input elements, and after that we can access that variable name inside of the component anywhere, and you can get the values for that. Anyone have any question regarding?
No, no.
Okay, now this is the way whenever you are going to create the different of the states. Now the thing is that if you have the lot of the states, a lot of the fields available on the form, then you need to create the each states, then it will be the maintenance is cost is increased. So instead of that we can use the objects, state object. So I'm going to create a state object, that is suppose I'm creating the name form data and set form data, and is a use state And here I need to provide the object. So how we can create the object like that? And here you can set the properties of this object, like the f name colon, what is should be the initial value of that? It should be a blank. L name, the initial value of this last name is a blank. Now another is a age, and the second one is a address.
Sir, you said maintenance issue. Is it because of having multiple state variables in a single component? Does that reduce efficiency, or what do you mean by maintenance?
Yeah. So if you are using the multiple states,
Okay,
then it will be your maintenance cost in terms of the coding perspective.
okay. Uh,
So suppose you have a 50 controls on your form, then
mm,
you need to create a 50 states for that,
mm. Yes,
and
yes,
you need to
yes.
maintain them.
Yeah, correct.
Suppose you need to pass the value from one controller to another controller,
Mm,
then you need to send the multiple of the properties on
mm.
that.
Yes, yes.
So instead
Instead,
of that, you can use the
single
object,
object. Yes, correct. Okay,
and you can pass the single object to the
correct,
anywhere, and you
correct,
can use the multiple
correct.
times for that. Okay. So suppose I have these things, and I am now I need to create a function which will update the values whatever user is selecting or entering in the controls. So I'm using the uh, set data. Okay, but the way is to get the data from any of the control is the event only. So you need to pass the event parameter at least. Now the thing is that I want to pass this set data instead of this one. I need to pass this one. Okay, it will call it, and event.target.value will get here. The thing is that how you can save only the first name here. So in the object, whenever you are going to set the form data, here we need to pass the object only. So if you are passing like that, the first name and if dot target dot value, and on the save button, I am removing this one, and console dot log, that is form data, and also before this console dot log form data. What will happen if we are doing this type of work? I am writing here Subodh, then you can see that the first time it was the blank, and it has the address, age, first name, last name. But when you typed here, then you can see there is only one property, that is the first name, but other properties has been removed. That is a not correct way.
Correct.
Suppose I'm going to uh, go here, and I'm going to call this function, the same function which is written here, in the another element, and it is save. Now what will happen if I'm going to enter inward? So first, that is both the initial object parameters are the first name, last name, age, and the address. But whenever I typed, all of the others parameters have removed, only the f name is available here. What will happen if I am going to type in the last name? Sorry, here I need to change the name of. Okay, what will happen in the last name? Last name here is also the first name, because here is a hard code name is available here, the first name. If you are typing, if you are writing here another property, that is L name, then the problem is that what value should be available here. Suppose I am using the target dot value, then the value for the both of the property will be same, because it will targeting the current component value. So your current component value means your control. The current control is the first name, this text box, and you are typing in the Subodh. So you can see that the first name have also Subodh and last name have the also Subodh. Now here, if you are typing in the last name, so now this control is a target, and the value of this target will be saved inside of it. Suppose I am using the Kumar, so you can see the Kumar will be replaced by the Subodh in a both of the component, both of the properties. So the thing is that how we can solve this issue. So in this case, we have the two things. The first, we need to preserve, we need to make a dynamic the name of this. So here it is a hard coded. These are the hard coded. The first name and the last name is the hard coded. This should not be hard coded. This should be a the variable, the name of that. So here the first name, the name is getting by the if you are right, I'm writing here E, and I'm going to use something. Suppose I'm calling this, and E is this one. Here you can see the event is providing you the target name, and you can see that the event is also providing the some properties to you, like a name, value, these things. So you can see that value is also provided here, and you can see the name is also available in the event. And you can see the name. The name property is also available in the event. So this name is this name is a name of your control. So this name I can provide inside of this one. So e target dot name, but it is showing me an error. We cannot do directly here. So instead of this, I need to pass the name like that. So this name is now a dynamic. Now I don't need to add this one because it is coming dynamic. Whenever you are calling this one, then the target name is F name. Whenever you are calling this one, then target name would be the L name. So the value, whenever the e dot target value is coming from there, then value save in the F name, because we are sending the dynamic name. And like that, whenever you are going to send the date, the name, the value from this control, then the value should be saved in the L name, because I am sending the dynamic name. So what will happen if we are using it? Let's see. Oh, sorry. I need to change that from data. Now you can see uh, we have undefined for that. And if I'm using this one, then it is also undefined, and I have only one component for that, that is undefined. Undefined means that your name, the target name is not available here first. Second thing, the value, whatever value you are sending inside of it, then it is not a binding with the correct one, and it is also eliminate, remove these things. This is not a correct way. So for that, we need to use the spread operators. So what are the spread operators? Spread operators are copying the component, the content from one object to another object. So suppose I am use, first of all I need to show you some example. Suppose I have a array, and now I'm going to create another array. I need to copy these array in my another array, and I'm writing here arr1 comma arr2. So what is the output of that? Anyone can tell me? What is the output of array 3?
Two
So
individual arrays, ARR1, 1, 2, 3 array, and then followed by second indexed element as another array, 4, 5, 6.
yes, so it is containing the two array set inside of the array. But I want this type of copy: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. While it is providing me the different thing, you can see that the inside of the one array it is providing the two element. What in the first element it is the another array, and inside of the second element you can see the another array. But I don't want this. So instead of that, I need to do the spread operator. So spread operator is denoted by the three dots. What will happen if I am using this one? Only one with the spread operator, another reason not a spread operator. So let's see what is the output of that. So whenever you are doing that, then you can see the 1, 2, 3 is copying inside of the array, but the another array is as added as an array inside of the second element. So you can see that the array is a 1, 2, 3, but it is a copy of an array. Whenever you want to copy the content of the array, then you need to use the spread operator. So now here you can see the output of that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here the copy are going to show, copying are going to add the elements, not an object, right?
Correct,
Anyone
correct,
have
correct.
uh, anyone have any doubt or query on it? Because it is very important and it is uh, very working in the upcoming your work whenever you are working on your project. You will see more of the time these things. Yeah, Tarak?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, fine. One second. Now come to here. I'm going to comment these things. Now here. Suppose I am not using right now this one. I am using the first name. Okay. Whenever my requirement is that whenever I'm going to change my first name, then last name and age and address should not move. Right now, what is going on? I am updating this one. Then the last name, age, and address are removing here, but it should not be removed. Then how we can do that? Here we need to pass the spread operator for that. So suppose I am using the spread operator of the three dots here, and the my form data is the my object state variable name, and then comma I am passing this one. So let's see what's happened with that. So you can see whenever you are writing the subodh, then it will reflecting only in the f name, and the others are not removing from here. Why? Because you are going to update this parameter, but you are going to copy the other one. So here you are copying the all of the elements, but you are going to update only the one properties on it. So like that, whenever you are passing instead of this one, and instead of this you are passing this name, that should be a small. Okay. So you are passing the this name, and then here I'm going to update the another one. It is okay. Now the last name, then you can see The first name is SUB and last name is KUM. That is a dynamically converting here right now. So what is going to happen? It is happening. It is copy the content of your state variable, and here I am passing the name of the field is dynamically, and the value is also coming dynamic from the particular component for the particular control. Next time the another controller I'm going to typing, then again it is taking the copy of the new one what is available in the state and update the value only for that event from where the event value and name is coming from the control. So that's why it is going to make a dynamic. Everyone have understood these things?
Yes.
And any query question?
No.
Okay, like that we can pass the on change event directly to our another components also, other control also. So here I'm going to this one, going to save this one, and you can see. Okay, and after the submitting you can directly get this object. Here address is this one, age is this, name is this, and the last name is this. So you are getting the value of your controls directly on the submit button. Now we are going to set these things, the set state, the set data on this one, the country. So here the thing is, we have not the uh, we have already added the on change. In this on change we have already the set cascade, and that set cascade is doing the cascading value set in my city list. So but I'm getting the event from here. So I can do, we can call the set data directly here and pass it event e whatever you are getting from here. If you are saving that, and but here we have the only the address. But what will happen if I you have not added here, and you are getting the name extra name here, then what will happen? Then you can see whenever you are adding the India in a country, but you are not getting any of the controls value here, it should undefined also. So here if I'm going to set a name, the name of your state variable should be same as per your control name. So here is nothing, a name is available. Okay, let's see. uh, I'm removing this one again, and now I'm going to pass the name here, only the name. I'm not adding anything in our object, only the name I'm setting here. Name is a country. Now what will happen now? You can see when I am adding the name, then you cannot see here. But if I'm adding this name here as a country, set the first initial value value as a blank. It is showing the blank also right now. Why? Because this event, I'm showing you the event name, the form data, event value, event name. Okay. Mm, event name. I'm setting this one. Okay. And let's see what is showing here. You can see the event name is correct. There is no issue with that. But if I'm going to copy that and here inside of this, I'm passing this one. The same, the country, and this one is available. Now edo target value, that is a count 2. So value is also coming here, but it is not saving inside of the our form data. While we have the name of the country is available here and these things. Suppose I'm going to pass a hard code value here. It is again the same. So why it is not saving? The question is that.
You need to filter the country object data and then set the value here. Since
But
the
we have already a country variable here inside of the object, and now I'm
select
going
box
to
options, the select box options, like you
select.
did select box options for uh, if you see that above you did the same thing, no, just like how to save select box options into the input field, select input field. You have to do the same thing now.
This one is a F name,
No,
last
no,
name.
not that. Scroll above, sir.
Hmm.
Other handle, yeah, the set cascade like that. You need to here, yeah,
But here I'm passing my event directly,
okay,
and we are getting the event here, and we are also getting the event values and name also.
okay.
And here, but I am I am providing the hard code as a country name, but it is
Mm,
not saving.
mm.
So what? Why it is not saving? Okay, let's see. I'm removing this one. Okay, let's see. Suppose I'm going to copy that, and if I'm going to comment that. Now I am not doing the spread operator. I'm just passing the value of my country that is hard coded. Okay, suppose now it should work or not. Ideally should work. Suppose you are going to refresh that and do any change, your changes in any component, like any control. Suppose I'm going to change inside of it, then you can see that India is available. Now I'm going to change inside of this one. It is also India. But what will happen if I am using the form data, comma this one? Will it, yeah, it should work. But it is not working. If I'm entering this one, then I'm getting the India. But whenever I'm going to change inside of it, I'm not getting the India.
The event handle should be on select, no? Instead of on change, it should be on select.
Event handling is the on change or on select,
Okay. Okay.
right? So I'm going to change it here is a on change.
Okay.
Okay, on change means on. If you are seeing the on select,
Hmm.
so there is a event here also.
Hmm.
And if you are setting the set data
Hmm.
and pass that here and save them, then what will happen? So now I'm going to change the thing. It is not working. But whenever I'm going to type inside of it, then I can see that India. So actually, the state is working on the DOM. Okay. So whenever you are directly make the copy of that, then somehow the things are going to update in the outside, and the latest the updated value are not getting uh, by the DOM. Okay, so how you can resolve that? For that we need to create a simple variable and need to pass that simple variable inside of that, and we need to use don't directly the spread operator like that. For that we need to create a variable for that. This is working fine, but somehow and in the some cases it is not working fine as per exact data what available in the DOM whenever you are using the spread operator. If you are not using the spread operator, then it is working fine. There is no issue with that because there is only a single value. But when you have the previous value also, you need to preserve that. Then you need to use another way for that.
Okay.
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 So how you can do that? I'm explaining that. So can we take a 10 or 15 minutes of break right now?
Yes. Sure. Sure.
Okay. Anyone have any questions? Then please let me know. Okay, after this break, we will
Okay.
take your question or query, and after that, we will continue. These things are very important. That's why I'm taking the step by step to you.
Correct.
How
Okay.
the problems are coming, why the data is not coming. So you should know. So that's why I'm taking the lengthy of these things because states are the very important. We are going to check the name. That is a country name. Okay. Okay. Here the problem is that whenever we are going to change from the country, country, it is not saving the data. That is a country. Okay. While it is working perfectly with the other uh, components, then you can see that it is a. So here we have a target value, we have everything, but we are not going to save that. That is calling by the country. So the another way is to do that we need to preserve, we need to use the variable name, the previous form data, and we need to pass that inside of this one. That's it. What here? PREV state or whatever the name you want to use, data, and then this. Okay. Now we need to use the spread operator. Suppose I'm not using the spread operator and I'm using this one, and in this case we need to use the prev dot the country. India. It is not working. It's still not working. The name is same, everything is same. Then why it is not working? On select, on change. I will check this thing and let you back. Okay, why it is not preserving? Okay, I will check that and we'll get
Uh,
back to you.
I think that is because the country expects an uh, object that JSON object whose value is being passed at select no. What we
Actually,
see
the
on
thing is
console
that
is the ID only. The cont2 is actually the ID of the selected object.
1 second. That is not issue.
That's not issue. Okay.
Uh, that is not issue because it's a country. Okay, it is
Okay.
not necessary that I can provide the name of the country. It
Okay.
can be anything.
Okay.
This is a value. Okay, that value, whatever you are sending, that is a country ID. That is a value, and that is not matching that this value should be a country name. It can
Mm.
be anything. Okay, it is just a value. Okay.
Okay.
So I will check. I will check and get back to you on
Okay.
this part. Okay.
Yeah.
So I for right now I am removing this one and this is commented. I'm going to open that. So like that, I am going to right now create a property of this city also, and do one thing. Do one more thing. I'm using the name of that as a country name. That is a city name, and here I'm going to change the name of my country name, and here the name goes to city name, and here I'm going to own select set data. India, Delhi, and now submit that. Okay, I will check in it why it is not coming. Okay, so come to the next part. So suppose I want to go to the submit button and I want to preserve that in my uh, any of the object. Then you can simply you can see that we have a directly a object here that contains of information about my this. So this is the form data. So if you want to check the validations here and show the values, that it should be mandatory. So these the first name last name is my mandatory fields, and user need to be filled that before submitting that. Okay, so now I need to provide a message here like a P, and that is a please fill the first name. Okay, and the color of this code is should be, I'm going to set the color should be a red. Now you can see that it is showing in just above below over this one. Please fill the first name. Now this message should be available whenever the user is not filling the first name and directly click on the submit button. Then how I can do that? So I need to hide show. I need to work on the hide show on it. So I'm going to create a state for that, because without state you cannot do, because it is going to rendering your thing. If you are using a simple object, simple suppose you are using a simple variable here. Now I'm going to create a let, and that is a uh, fname validation, and here I'm setting as a false, and I'm using this one, and here I'm writing if it is true, then it should be display. I can do that also, and this one. If it is true, then it will show. Otherwise, it will not show. Initial value is a false. Then you can see that it is false. So right now it is showing zero. So because let's see it. So because it is value is false, so it is 0. So that's why it is showing the 0. So if you don't want to show that, then you can put as a blank. Here you need to set that question mark, and here you need to set that as a blank. So you can see that it will be show as a blank. Now I want to check that it is the first name is blank or not. So every value is available in this object. So you can see that directly here. If this dot, the first name is equal to blank, then I need to set this one as true, so that my message should be show here. Save, refresh, and I'm going to submit that. You can see that the value is not showing here, while the value of this one is set as a true. How you can see that? You can see that console.log. Here I'm going to submit.
Yeah.
No. You can see that it is set it as a true. So it is working fine, but it is not rendering here. So every time whenever you want to do or show any changes on inside of your HTML, then your code should be re-render. It should be return something. Without returning, you cannot populate the latest things. So rendering is possible through the state only. So that's why we need to create a state for that. So instead of the this, we need to create a state. Use state, and initial value of this variable is false. Now I need to update the value of this state instead of this variable. So that is a set f name, and I'm going to update value as a true. Now if you can see that whenever going to submit that, this value, this error message is showing here. Clear? Now suppose I'm writing some value here, and again the submit that this is already filled, but it should not be show. Then what I need to do? I need to do is else part, and the same, because right now this value in this state variable is containing the true value. Now we need to set the false value for that. This is the first thing. Second thing, if you want to remove the this message whenever user or going to type something inside of it, then we can simply go in the on change event of my uh, input box, and in this on change event we can set the state. So this one is, and we can check first, because this function is using multiple of the controls, so it should not be work with the each of other. So for example, I am using this one, and I'm going to write another message with this one. Okay, so now here it is for the last name, and the name of my validation is a last name. This is a different state, so I need to create a state for that. Or initial value of that is a false. I need to set that. Hmm. 1 second, I am coming back. Okay. Hello. Sorry. Okay. So now I need to check for other, that is of if form data dot lname equals to blank, and use the set last name as it true, and else set the last name as a false. So here you can go and check if I'm going to submit that. The first name, last name is showing here. If I'm fill up the first name, not the set last name, it will remove and it will come for the last name. If it is I'm changing them again, then it is showing that. Now thing is that whenever I user is going to start typing on this text box, and the text box has some value, then this field should not be display. How we can do that? We can go with the change event of my control, that is this one, and if I'm going to directly use this one uh, set first name. What is the name is that? Oh, I need to declare these things just above on it because I'm not able to access that. So here
So,
I'm using this one and set as a false.
yeah,
Suppose I'm setting this as a false, then you can see that if I'm trying to type inside of that, it will also false.
yes, correct. So you need to check whether that e.target.name is equal to that first name, then set
Exactly.
it. Uh, correct.
Exactly. We need to check that if e.target.name, that should be a f name. If it is belongs to that, then it should be work, otherwise it should not work. Now, thing is that it is working fine, but whenever it is blank, then it should be again come back a message. If you want that, then it is very simple. You need to uh, set and present e dot target dot value not equals to blank. Then first time it is showing the blank. Now I'm tapping here, removing this one, but it is again showing me if refreshing it. It is not showing here. Why? Whenever you are going to update your content here in the state, then it is not available. The last updated is not available here. So here, if you are seeing that the e.target.value, okay, we have consoled already, that is the different thing. It is blank, or it should be a undefined, means null. It can be a null. So we need to do the check on it with the null, undefined, and other thing also, because whenever you are going to e.target, it is going to set as a null, then it is a false. Now I need to set them as a true whenever the value is going to blank, but it should be only for with the first name. So what I need to do, I need to make a first name check just before of this condition. So I'm make a first check with the first name, and after that I need to check the other conditions inside of it,
Okay. Correct.
right? So now I'm going to save that, refreshing them, submit, and here I'm removing that, and you can see that the validation message is again coming. So you can use the validation messages, and you can control the validation messages with the different type of the events on the form. It is depending on how you are uh, providing the solution to the customer. Actually, whenever you are working on any project, users are providing you the requirement. Suppose a user is providing a requirement that I need to I need a the registration page. Okay, in this registration page, these fields should be available. Okay, now what is our work? Because Customer has provided their requirement only, but it is not fulfill our as per our perspective. What should be the mandatory field? What should be the message? Mandatory message? How the message should be displayed? These questions are available right now. So now, as a developer perspective, what we need to do? We need to mark them some mandatory fields that suppose in general we know that first name should is a mandatory, last name is a mandatory or not, it is a dicey. Age is mandatory, address it should be mandatory, country should be mandatory, and city should be mandatory. So whatever you see in the real world, you should apply as a mandatory field your side and say for the customer that we have marked them as a mandatory fields. If you want to remove anyone or want to add any more, can you please tell us? So it is showing our extra activities on the project, and customer is always happy because customer know, now customer is believing on you that you are working on his project as their own. Okay, so like that, where the message should be display, how the message should be displayed, it is up to you how you are going to represent your form to the customer. The customer may be happy with that or maybe do some customize on it. Okay, so that's why we need to know the different ways how we can work on it. So this is the way to create the registration form. Now I will show you the quick thing. I'm going to create a new page, that is a KBA. Okay, I already created. Okay, I'm doing that. Yes. This is already created the form, that is KBA questions. Now, what are we doing? We are doing to collect the questions from here, and after that, we will play the game. So, to collection of the questions, we need to uh, write a div question. The question is this one, and it will show the question, your question in it. Input type is equals to text, and this is the one, and name question. Now here div, that is the option A. Input type is equals to text, name is equals to option A. Like that, we need to create a option B, option C, option D. So this is our question, option D, C, and B. Going to change the name of that, and then the last I am going to create a div for the correct option. So this is my simple form, and here I have a button. Okay, and I'm going to execute my component instead of the registration. So I am removing this one. The KB questions I have added here. Now I need to make reference for that. Let's see. The default option is not available inside it. Where is KB option? Export default is not defined. Okay, so this is our question. This is what is the option A, option B, option C, and such information will be fill up from here and question. And this question should be automatically added in our object storage. So what I need to do? The first I need to create a state object. Const question set question data and set question data. Use state. Now what I need to do? Suppose I'm using this only, and I'm using here the question title as a blank initial value. Option 1, option A, this is also blank. Option B, it is also blank. Option C, it is also blank. And option D, also blank. And now I can set the correct answer, correct option. It is also blank. If I'm using this structure, what I'm added here, and I'm going to save the data inside of this structure, only single record will available here, but I need to multiple records. So how can I do that? With an array. So I need to create an array for an object, right? So whenever you are using this array, so by default, the first element always will be blank because you are adding the first element here as a blank. So now I want to preserve these values in the state and add the items inside of the array. So how you can do that? First of all, we need to get the values for this input box, the on change. and we are going to create a common method for that. That is a question set. Here I'm using the const and the set question data, sorry, const my function, and here I need to set the my set question data by what it should be save the previous one. Okay, so my question data should be preserved, and the next value is as per the request, which is coming from, it is coming from E, and what is coming is a E dot target dot name, and it should be the E dot target dot value. Okay, so here you can see that this is, will it really work? Are you think it is really work? No, it is not work, because in this time we have not an single object, we have an array, and we are going to try to submit the value of this, the question. This is the, sorry, this is the question title, I am using the question. Okay, no issue. Question title. Okay, so here I'm trying to update the value of the question title inside of it. It is not possible because it is an array. So if you are using this type of functionality or this type of code, then what will happen? You can see that hello, and I am going to save that question. It is not going to save. And suppose I am going to show, 1 second. Yeah, it's going to here, and I'm going to show the content on the button click event. I'm going to create on change. Sorry, on click, on click, and here save data, copy, and here in the above I'm going to create a function const save data equals to, and now I'm here to console.log, and here I am going to show my question data. Refreshing this save question, you can see by default this is a set of the my array, which is the first element is showing this one. If I am typing here and now I'm going to save data, then you can see now question title is available, but the array is thing. It is not updating inside of the array. It is containing the another uh, properties inside of the object. Okay, so it will not work here. So how it will work? So it is simple. We need to create a set first, the const obj set, and here I'm going to make a set for that. If I'm using the question title, the question title is coming from the e dot target dot value, and it is here. Now here we have the some issues. The first one, should can I create this as dynamic? Yes, we can create a dynamic. I'm I'm going with the one by one, and show the problem. What is the problem in it? So right now it is a question title, and the second one is the option A. But what is the value of option A? I don't know right now. Option B, I don't know. Option C, right now don't know. Option D, I don't know. And like that, that option, I don't know. But I know about the question title because we are getting the question title right now. So what will happen if I'm using the this object instead of this one? Let's see what the first by default is this one, and I have added this one. But here you can see that one array is here, but another object set is available here. This is not an array. This is not an array, but I need to add inside of that the array object. So how we can do that? Here, suppose I am using, instead of this, I'm using this one, and now I'm going to pass that. What will happen? Will it work? Let's see. This is a default save question, but again, this is another record, and this is another record which is containing the object of an array. What will happen if I am using the spread operator with that? So by default, one object here, I'm adding one more, but it is, you can see that it is added here as a question title inside of it. You can see that it is updating this one.
Correct, correct.
What will happen if I am removing this title from here? And now I'm going to check that. What is happening? So here you can see that we have the initial, going to update that, save. You can see that the name of the property has been changed. What is going here? Actually, whenever you are trying to set this object content inside of this your questionnaire data, it is replacing all of these things. It is not adding, it is replacing. One second. So before that, you have confused with the name of your properties. Here, the name of property was the title, but ideally, but internally, it is going to replace your entire array with the new properties. But the name was the same, that's why it is showing that it is going to update that. But it is not updating the property value. It is updating the entire array. Understood?
Yes.
Now, one second. Okay, now what I need to do here? It is spread operator is not working because it is replacing my the things. Then what is the way I need to do that? Suppose I'm not using the spread operator, then it is again the problem. So here the question data, this is your question data, which is set of the array. You need to push them the content. So suppose I'm trying to use the push. Will it work? No, because directly you cannot add the things in here. Okay, so for that we need to work with the states, the state variables for that. So removing this one and right, I'm removing the first these things, the spread operator. Instead of that, I'm just showing how you can add first. Okay, one by one we will go that. So I'm using the suppose it is a current. Current means the state, the current state. What is the current state? That is a current. Is the name is up to you. Okay. So I'm using that, and this is an array. I'm removing this one. This is an array, and this array contains spread operator first for the current, and then you need to add the new one. For example, I'm taking another example to understand the things. I'm just commenting it. I'm const. I'm going to create a simple uh, state that suppose we have the name. Okay, people name. Set people name equals to use state, and I have an array In this array, I have some element like a Raja, Mohan, Swan. Okay. Now I am going to set p name. I'm going to add a new value inside of this array. How you can do that? Use a current, and here this is an array and spread operator of your current, and then comma, that is Kumar. Fine. Now I am going to, this is a p, and here I'm going to show in the console log. Refresh them. Raja Mohan Sohan is available here. Suppose I'm going to change anything here. Now Raja Mohan Sohan Kumar Kumar Kumar. It is three times it is available. It is added, but it is a three times. So why it is going to three times? It is, should be one time only. Okay, three times because we have typing here the three times. Sorry. Actually, it is, this function is executing on the typing of the input box. So I'm typing only a single one. Suppose it is this one, and I type only one time. One. Then you can see the Kumar is added here. So this is the way to insert the values in the array. Now, like that, we need to add our object also. So how we can do that? It is again the simple thing. I'm going to stop this one and opening this one. Like a current, I am passing my obj set and saving that. P name. Okay. I am replacing this one as with the question data.
No, you have console state, Mukesh.
Yeah, I'm replacing that in the console data. Okay, here I'm refreshing that. Default is this one. This is a one. Now I'm going to type and save data. You can see that we have two elements here with an array. But this time it is a totally different. This is a title and this is a question. So I'm going to add one more item here. Then how? You can see the three elements here. And both three elements have the array because we are passing the array instead of the object. So we need to remove the array. We are passing the array inside of the array element. So that's why it is containing as array. I am not passing the array. I want to pass the object. Here again, this is the one. I'm going to pass that. You can see the two here. We have the two elements. The name of the element, the property of your object is different because it is not depend on the each other. You can submit that. Ideally, we should the same one. So if you are going to the same one, then you can see your the exact correct data. This is a question. First, I have told you that the first question will be blank, and this one. If you want don't need to use the blank value, then it is a very simple. In the first element, you don't need to define that. You can remove that. If you remove that, then you can see that the first item will be blank, but the first item will be added. For example, I'm added this one. This is the first element is added here. You are passing the blank array here. The first element, what you are passing is a state that is a blank, and in the blank is filled up by the your added items because the indexing of the array is starting from 0. It is correct. Hello.
Hmm.
Anyone have any question query?
No, no.
Okay. So this thing is the adding the components. But
Hmm.
the thing is that how uh, because if we are using the same thing, the question set inside of our the option, saving that, and here I'm refreshing that, and now I'm typing the question, then you can see the one record has been added inside of it. Okay. Now I'm going to type something here, then you can see that two records have added inside of it with the both because we are providing the question title only. So there is a very complexity here right now, how we can define that which value is belongs to the which one. So we have a target, we can check the target name. If target name is the option, then we can set the value of the inside of the option. But the problem is that how we can preserve the same object directly here in the in the um, in the option data, the question data basically. So remember the previous one which we have done. We have created a state to preserve the data of our different values of whatever values we have fill up on the my registration form. We have set the all of the values inside of a single object of the state, right? So we need to do that technique. So we are not going to update the directly the things in our question data. That is my question data is the final data. So my final data should be add whenever I'm going to click on the save question, because on the save question I need to check first that all of the options are fill up or not. The first thing. The second thing, we can handle all of the properties of these controls in a single object. And after the single object, when the single object is completed in our state, then we can transfer that object into another state. Understood? So directly we it is not possible to save the data directly in your main data source. Here the main data source is our data question data. So instead of that, we are using a object set. That is object set would be suppose I'm using the first variable. Okay, so I am removing this one and adding here as a simple object, not the state. I'm not using the state, I'm using the simple variable. This variable contains the same properties which is available in my state, which should be available in my state. Okay, so now the initial value of the title would be blank. Whenever the question is coming here, I don't need to use this thing here. I'm commenting that whenever the value is coming here, I need to pass the value inside of it. So how we can do that? That is again one by one we need to check that this values belongs to which one. So if it is going to check that and preserve the value inside of the object, that is a very complex and difficult. But how we can do that, I will show. So we need to make a check for that. E dot target dot name. Suppose this name is belongs to the my what was the question? I think what was the name? That is the question title. So this is a question title. If it is belongs to the question title, then my is set dot question title should be e dot target dot value. So value will be saved inside of the object. Let's see the console dot log what is showing in the object set. Now I'm going to add something here. Then you can see that the question title is available. Other is the blank. Removing. If you are removing that, it is also removing my question. So final is this one. Is a my question. So you are saying that my question title is available here. Like that, you need to set the if condition for other. What is the that is the I think option A, option B. Yeah, option A, and here obj set option A. Now we can set a value of target p dot target dot value. Like that we can use the option B, option C, option D, and others. B, C, D, and correct answer is a B, C, D, and correct option D, C, and B. Spelling mistake. Option B. Option A. Okay. Option B, option C, option B, option C, option. Okay, and here is a correct option. So now If you are seeing that whenever you are typing here, then it is available for here, and it is this, this, and this. It is not available because we have not calling done. So we will call on the on change. So we will get the values on it. Correct options. Okay. Once you get the values in the object, now I want to get those object values inside of the saved data. So now I'm going to check that it is available here. Definitely it will available here because page is not rendering, but the value is available inside of the uh, objects. Now, and you can see that all of the values are available inside of it. So we don't need to create the state. What is the benefit without state we have created here? The benefit is that our page is not going to re-render. Okay, so whenever you are only uh, work with the data in the backend, then you can use directly the variables. Now I need to save that in my state, because finally I need to save inside my state. Then I'm going to use the same code, and here the object set I need to pass them, and going to console the data. I'm going to console the data with a different mm, function. Show data. Question data. Okay, and here I'm going to create another input.
The show data syntax, the function go there, sir.
Function name is
The arrow function, arrow you missed there. Yes.
oh, sorry, you can remove that. No issue. Show data. Yes, I showed that.
Arrow, yes.
Okay. Okay, now I'm going to add something here, and something here, something here, some data here, some data here, and some data here. And I'm going to save the question. Okay, this is my object which is saved in the state. And now what is the state value? This is the state value in which the same content is going to submit here. Now if I'm going to save the questions again, then you can see there was a two array with the first record and with the second record. This time this is blank because you have used the state to update that, and that state will update re-entering your data, re-entering your page the DOM from the back end, and this time your object is blank. You can see here is a blank. That's why that blank data is going to insert here. While every fields containing the data here. Understood this concept?
Yes, correct.
Correct. If I am going to do any changes inside of it,
Now save.
again save the question and save the and show the data, then you can see the third record have the value.
Okay.
So this is the concept of the state and not state means the whenever you are not using the
Mhm.
state,
Okay.
Subodh,
right?
can you repeat why the second one having empty ones?
Because I'm showing you again to you the first one for the current now it is the blank, everything is blank.
Yes.
Now I'm going to set some data here, and you can see that replace that save question. This is coming from our object. You can see this is a console. This is coming from our object here, data. Okay, and if this object is adding in our state, the state behavior is that it is it is re-rendering your page from the backend, only in the backend in the DOM. It is not showing in the DOM. It is going to re-render, but in the backend the DOM is going to re-render. During the re-render, the local variables or local objects are going to rebind again. Means they are coming in the previous state. The previous state of our object set is the blank.
Okay.
That's why it is coming next time if I am going to click on the button, because these controls have the values, but this object set has been resetted as a blank. When when these um, when the values are coming in this object, whenever you are going to do some changes inside of the controls,
Can we make it
but
persist even if we click again and again on save question to
Mhm.
say, pass the same values?
Yes, it will pass the same values, but right now it is not. It is passing the blank value because it is set it as a blank by the updating the
Defaults.
state. So it is reversed by the state. The state is re-entering your DOM and lost all of the values whichever you have saved in your local variables.
So, so if you want to keep the current value, instead of declaring it as a object as a local object, you can declare it as a state variable containing as an object. No, if
Yes,
you
right.
do, yeah,
So if you want to preserve the value of the array rendering, then you need to use the state.
yeah, okay, okay,
Okay. Okay.
If you have the three variables, and in three variables you have some values that those variables are the state variables, and you are going to update a single state, it means not that the other state will lose the values, they will preserve the values. But if you are not using the state and you are using the simple variable, the local simple variable, then it will be lost the values and it will come back to the initial value.
okay, correct, okay.
This is the concept. What is the difference between the local variable and the state variable? Understood? Very
Yeah.
important concept is this. So that's why the next time I am seeing that, the first time I am getting the value, but whenever I am going to click on the next time of this button be- while I am not doing any changes on it, but the value is showing in the text box. But I am not doing any changes because my local variable has reset as a blank. And I am going to save the data, save question, then this time it is showing the blank because it is resetted. And now I'm going to showing the data. It will added the two records in my array. First one is the value, and the another one is the blank value, which is it. If I'm going to change in within any of the control, I'm changing the question only, but the other option I am not changing. Then what will happen? Only the question will update. You can see the question will update, but other one is not updated. And in show data, you can see the three records. The third record have the question title, but other options are not available because we have not do any changes in the other options. That's why the values inside of the object is still blank. Understood?
Yeah, that means DOM is getting updated whenever we do change, or else it will be taking the empty values. Correct?
DOM updates whenever the state value changes. For example, here that form data is a state value, state variable that changes corresponding to the input value, so it changes. But if the object is actually the local JavaScript object, it does not change. That
Actually,
is what
actually,
we need.
DOM contains the value. Okay, so suppose the DOM is refreshing from backend, the local variables which are not state variables are going to refresh, but it is not refreshing the state variables. So I'm going to the another example to clear you. Okay, suppose this is not a uh, state. This is not a the local variable. This is a state variable. Then what was happened in our previous example? What we have written here? This. This is our state. I am using this one, and whenever values are coming here, it is preserving value in the state. Remember, you have we have written in the last time this, and here we are setting the true and false with the checking of the state values. So state values are always the same whenever other state values are going to update. Understood? Here we have another state variable, that is the f name validation, and this have another state, the form data. We are checking the form data again and again, and and updating the other state variable again and again. It is going to re-rendering the our page in the DOM, but the state variables are the same here. So like that, here also, this is a local data set, not a state. If it was a state, then it will not it will not lose their values. It will always available. But right now I am good. I am using the local variable. That's why it is losing the value. Understood?
Yeah. One more thing, that we are populating in array, right? Whenever we
Mhm.
click on save. So if we
Populating the
use
yes, yes, yes.
state,
Mhm.
the behavior would be same, or the values in only one array it will be updated.
No, it is adding the array items inside of it.
Uh, uh.
It is not replacing anything. It is preserving the data on the state.
So every time new record will be created in the array then,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay, all right.
Every time new records are going to added in it.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah, fine.
Good. So here the problem is that whenever what is the benefit of the state variable and what is the drawback of the local variables? That is, it is okay. We are going to save the data and insert in it, but we cannot do the blank value of this these controls directly. So we need to, there is a binding that is called the binding. We need to make a two-way binding. So that binding is possible through the state only. So here, for example, I'm going moving to the registration page again, and I am making the first page of that. Index page. Yes. Okay, and here I am adding this one and remove this one. So this one is again the previous one. Now I am moving to the registration page. Here, suppose I am a first name and I am going to submit that. After submitting, I want to suppose this is also okay. And after the submitting, I want to make them as a blank. Then how we can do that? So here, first of all, I am console, and there is also console. This console. Okay. Now this is a change event. Here, if is a value, that is our state value, the state variable, the state variable of my form data dot f name. So form data dot f name. I'm putting here refreshing this one, adding something, submit, adding something and submit. No issue. But I need to make a blank on it. Okay. So on the button click event here, this is a save data. I will use the same concept, or suppose I want to make us blank of all of the data, then I will use this one. That is a copy, and here in the save data, and I am going to use that. That is the set form data, and I'm going to set this one as a blank. Saving that, and here I'm writing this this and submit. So you can see that first name has been L name is not blank because I have not added the value here. So value would be the form data. So that is called the two-way binding. So what are going to here? What are going to do here? The thing is that we are updating the state by using the change. Whatever the values are available inside of the input box. And we are getting back the values of this input box from the state. We are saving the state by whatever going to change in the input box and showing the value from the state whatever just saved in the state. So now here what we have do as a blank value here from the state, only in the state, not in uh, the input text. So now if you will see the form state data, it will also the blank. Understood? But these things we cannot do with the local variable. Have you got my point here? What I have written? Any confusion? Hello?
Can you repeat once?
Okay. This is an input box. We have do the changes in with this method in our state. That state contains the some values. Now what is doing here? I am passing the data of my input box to the state, and I am binding that state variable value in the input box. So what are you are going to change, that is save in the state, and state value is showing in the input box. Vice versa. What you are going to save, that you are getting from there. Now what, during the blank I am setting the blank value of the first name. That's why it is the value is showing as a blank, because now because my input box is getting the value from the state, and now state value is a blank. That's why it is going showing the blank. So it is saving in the state is providing the data in the input box, whatever the value inside of the state. Understood?
Yeah, clear.
Good. So now this is not happening with the question, because it is a local variable, and local variable cannot re-render the things. So if your DOM is going to re-render, then you can show on the page. Otherwise, you cannot show the updated values on the page. So now on the question, we need to, if we need to make a blank for that, we need to create this object set as a state. After that, we can use that. So do you want to convert this in the object and the state, or you can do yourself? Hello, please tell me. Can I show you, or you can do
Yeah,
yourself?
if you want, you can show, sir. Yes.
Okay, I will show. So now I'm going to replace the again my index.js file. So here's the question. This is a set. Now I'm going to make a state variable for that. Const question obj set set question obj set use state. This time it is a blank object, or we can set as a starting is a blank. Same like that. I'm not removing these things for your comparison. Okay. Now inside the questions, the question set, I'm going to create. So I'm using the question set here, and using this set question object, and here, sorry, set question object. Okay, and here I'm going to update the question set, and here need to update them. What is that? E dot target dot name, and what is E dot target dot value. Fine. So it is updating the our state variables dynamically by using this one. Now I'm going to see my object set. What is the value is available here on the button click event. Suppose I'm going to the show data. Now, and one more thing I need to do. Nothing. Okay, fine. It is already available on the question set. I'm setting the question. What is the second question object? Set. What's happening with that? Okay. Cannot read the property of the symbol. Why? Integer symbol E dot target dot name E dot target dot value. It's okay. Distribution भी दी किया ना मैंने. कई कुछ हो रहा है फिर. Yeah, the same. One second. Shit. My mistake. This is one. Okay. It is object. And now We are going to the question. Option A, that is B, C, D, and CO. Okay, and now show the data. Okay, so console. So you can see that the object has been updated with the C, option A, D, B, and like that. Okay. Now I'm going to save this data to my main array, like that the previous one. Okay. So this one is the question data. We need to inside of the question data. I need to save this one, and now I will to show the question set. Okay. So Q, A, B, C, D, C, and now is the save question and the show data. Oh, it is setting all of the event question data C. Oh, second. Spread operator we are using it. See what's like. You can see these are uh, editable. Okay. It is not because it is already an object, and here we had an object set. 1 second. This is object set. Okay. Should we add? And we can. I will show you that another thing. We can set the value with our the question set object. The first name, sorry, question title. That is a question title. Now here we can set the values of that with the option. Option A, value, the question object. Option B, option C, and option D. And it will be the correct option. For example, uh, I am updating this dot so this state variables as a blank, then it will be blank for the this one can so controls. So like that I am going to make as a initial values on it this one, and set the initial value of that in this one. here you can see, and suppose I'm entering the value here, and after the saving, if you want to remove all of the values here, then you can show data, and here if you want to clear that, then show data, then all of the data are going to clear. So you can, here we what we are doing, we are basically binding our data set, our input box directly with the this function first. Okay, so we are going to pass the um, we are passing the values of our input box in the question set. In question set, we are updating the state values. We are updating the question state object state values with the value whatever we are getting from here. Now we are basically set the data inside of our state for preserving the data in it, and we have also bind the rebinding our input box with our state with the value. So now whenever your question your requirement is completed here, then you can remove you can clear your input boxes. Means suppose you have added some things and saved your questions and want to reset these things, then you can use this technique. Or if you want to make a reset button here, then you can show the reset and call this technique. So this one is going to blank make a blank of your entire of the controls. So but these things cannot be possible with the object variable. So here if we have the object variable, we cannot set the object variable with that input box. So it will not work. Suppose you are going to try with the object variables, it is available here, and you can set the title. But whenever you are going to set the object variable as blank here, for example, on the show data, I'm going to set the obj set that question title goes to blank. Then you can see your data is not populating because your initial value of your object set is blank. Why? You have updated your data set in the here, it is updated, but it is not relenting, that's why it is not showing the correct value. So suppose I am going to show this value in our console, it will already updated. The console.log, I'm going to refresh that. What is going here? See, that is a very the complex thing. The thing is that I'm going to typing. I typed here. It is saved in our state, but value is not showing here because the initial value of our data set is blank. Initial value of our data set is blank, and it is always blank until the back in the back end the DOM is not going to re-render. If I am going to type more, then it is going to save inside of the state. Whenever you click on the show data, then you can see that the object is available here. I'm going to clear that and show data. You can see that object is available in the show data. show data, this one. Going to you can see this is one show data, and here object is available here, but it is always blank because it is not re-rendering. So that's why it is not working with the object set. So it is always will work with the state variables. Understood?
Yes.